Your time and to talk with software media. Is your first time you talk with media from South America? Any connection with South America?
This is the first time that we're able to speak, and it's been a huge bucket list of ours to come to South America and perform, and we haven't been able to. It's a crime that we
Mm.
haven't been, but definitely something that we're looking forward to.
Yeah, because I think the blues scene, the rock scene is always in the industry and it's growing up every year. Last year we have here in Chile Kingfish, one of the greatest new guitar hero, no? And what are we waiting for? Well, or what do you wait for coming to South America? Because you're a success band in the United States and some part in Europe too.
That's right. We have toured a good deal internationally, and honestly, it's just finding the time in our calendar. We book ourselves so busy all the time,
Mm.
but it is no excuse. We will make time to come to South America because as we've been told, we've heard from many, many people, the best rock and roll lovers in the world are in South America. So we have to come and see for ourselves.
Did you see some footage, videos from the South American crowd?
Yes, indeed. And we're huge fans of Chris Stone as well. And so to see him touring as well, it makes us very jealous. We need to come down.
Well, maybe not many people here in Chile knows about you. And what can you say for the audience, national audience, about you? Your sister, you are part of a family of musicians, sister musicians, and from 2010, Larkin Poe is on the road. What can you tell to the new people in Chile he's knowing about you?
Yeah, we are sisters and we were born in Tennessee and
Mhm.
raised in Georgia. So we are making music that is deeply inspired by the traditions of American music. So we play rock and roll that is influenced by, bluegrass and the blues and Americana and Southern rock and roll. These are the genres that are very, very important to us and also very important to be able to be female torchbearers for rock and roll, following in the footsteps of Bonnie Raitt and Susan Tedeschi and Joan Jett. There are role models. So I think people can anticipate, when we come to play in South America, a really rock and roll show with a lot of guitar riffs, real heavy guitar riffs. That's our speed.
And talking about this, Megan, your principal influence on the guitars. Yeah, I saw some of your shows live in YouTube. I know a lot of guitars, a lot of blues guitar. You said, and the principal influence from you, and after that, Rebecca too. The influence, the very first guitar hero or heroine. I mean, woman and man who took you from this road.
Yeah. We grew up listening to a lot of the Allman Brothers. So
Mhm.
the you know, Dwayne has always been in my head as like one of the most iconic guitar players ever. The person that really inspired me to pick up the slide guitar that I play, which is lap steel.
Mhm.
I originally started out on dobro, which is the acoustic version of lap steel, and it's a slide instrument. And I witnessed Jerry Douglas playing that instrument. He plays a lot with Alison Krauss. He was the first person that inspired me, but I really listened to a lot of like classic
Mm.
guitar players, or in like David Lindley. I mean, the list goes on and on. Derek Trucks. I love slide playing that is very very singable and vocal. Like I just love that slide has a very it has a lot of humanity in it, and it's kind of my way of singing lead because Rebecca's our lead singer.
Mhm.
I sing harmony to her, but I do consider my true voice to come through the slide guitar.
And I think the slide guitar sound is like the the best recognized sound of the country music, no, the Nashville sound. I think the lap steel is the sound.
Certainly, it's very very prevalent in country music, but I think that people might not realize they're listening to lap steel more than they think. There's a there's a lot of lap steel on like Pink Floyd
Mm,
records.
mm.
There's a lot of lap steel in classic rock records.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I know.
people don't know to listen for it.
Yeah, I know. Rebecca, what about you? Your heroes, the poster that you have in your wall in your room.
Yeah, it's a little bit embarrassing for me, actually. I never thought of myself to be like a guitar hero, but over the years, I have played a lot more electric guitar on stage, and I have found myself in the electric guitar, and I have developed a deep love for being able to solo and improvise and write riffs. But one of the first guys who I was around extensively, and who has influenced my guitar playing arguably the most is Tyler Bryant of Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown.
Yeah.
He's a Texas-based guitarist, and he happens to also be my husband. And he's co-produced a lot of the Larkin Poe records with us, but he is really one of the most passionate players. And of course, I love the Texas style. I grew up loving the playing of Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimmy Vaughan as well. So being able to have one of the greatest Texas blues players living in my house for inspiration it's a really cool twist of fate for me as a guitarist.
Taylor was here in Chile in 2018 playing with the Aerosmith, and a concert here is named Santiago Rock City. I met him. I met him. He gave me a pickup. Yeah.
Oh, that is very cool. He
Yeah.
he told me about the experience and he said it was one of the most exhilarating, electrifying shows of his life.
Yeah, he had to make two performance on the road because Aerosmith can play that. I don't remember what was the situation, but a nice guy, a very good guitar player. Yeah, and we are here talking about your career, your history, and but you're going to release a new album, is Bloom, no? And what is you feel about the expectation, no? The last record you win a Grammy Awards. It's a huge thing. What is the expectation about this records? There's something about the prize, the awards, or maybe made a great world tour around the world. Megan,
Boom.
Bloom.
It's coming soon. And we're really, really pumped. We poured a lot of our heart and soul into this record. Our main commitment when writing was to just write from a place of true honesty. And we won the Grammy during the writing process for Bloom. So we didn't feel much pressure or need to follow up our Grammy win with another Grammy win, but it did give us a lot of like confidence. I think it was a nice boost of confidence and wind beneath our wings in moving into making Bloom. So it was great timing for the beginning of 2024. But honestly, we're just really looking forward to being able to sing these songs to people because they mean a lot to us. They are a really, really true representation of what we feel and think and hope for. And we have a lot of plans for this year, doing a lot of touring across the US and Europe.
Mhm. And what about the recording process, Rebecca? Is the same as you are working before, or is a new kind of work, the approach of the music?
Yeah, so being a live band is always at the forefront of our thinking process when we go into the studio. So we kept a very similar aesthetic for Bloom as we have had for records in the past, which basically means we don't want to do a bunch of overdubbing. We're not going to double or triple stack guitars.
Okay.
The records that, Megan and myself and our co-producer Tyler, all the records that we love are those albums that were cut live in the studio in the 70s, listening to, the Allman Brothers cut live on the floor. There's a certain raw beauty, timeless energy that exists with some of these classic rock and roll records that we really wanted to embody in our own way. So we did, to the best of our ability, try to present Larkin Poe as a fan will hear them on stage in the studio. And it's also really cool too, because we have a home studio, and being able to record, our band basically at home really allows everyone to just be super unguarded and relaxed in the studio. So it just sounds like we're having a party because we're having a party in the studio and just enjoying music and being able to come together as friends through music.
You that word that you said is remember me that the story about the huge the Big Pink, the house of the band in Woodstock is a kind of shelter for music. It's like your style of composition and play.
100%. I mean, to each artist has their own way of doing things.
Hmm.
But clearly, the band is one of our biggest inspirations over the years. And they figured it out. I think being able to take the pressure off and exist in a very relaxed space when making a record allows all the musicians to bring their humanity into the recording, because I think so many people like myself can relate to hating overly produced records. Like
Mm.
when there's auto tune and everything is time aligned and cut and pasted, it doesn't do what rock and roll should do. So being able to let joy be at the center and let humanity be at the center, that's always been very important to us.
And Megan, what is your opinion about the industry, the musical industry now, and where the musician, the big spotlight is on this kind of artists? No, a lot of autotunes, a lot of over and over productions. And what is your opinion about this moment on the musical industry?
My feeling is that people are seeking out real music. I
Mm.
think, especially in this day of an age of social media being king, and you see just like the highlights reel of people's lives and people's tours and the record making process, the creative process. I think even within all of that, I think people are seeking humanity,
Mm.
like we want to see humans doing real things, and we want to know more about what it means to be a human. And I think that music does a pretty good job of connecting to that deep place in us. And I feel that I'm looking for that, and I think that is maybe why we're seeing. I mean, in the U.S., I can speak for the U.S. We're seeing a lot of people looking to these kind of traditional musical genres, like Beyonce recording a country album. It's
Uh-huh.
like bluegrass is doing really well these days. Americana, people are seeking. I think people are seeking these genres because they connect us to the past.
Talking about country music, let's talk about one of the best release of the last week. I think I'm talking about the Look Up, the new album of Ringo Starr. I think it's a great, great album, and you've been there in this record. Tell me about the sensation to be close to the one of the four Beatles. Is a huge thing, I think.
So real. And we have to shout out T-Bone Burnett, who
Yeah.
is the producer for the album, and he invited us to be a part.
Wow.
But it's funny, actually, we heard a story from Ringo himself, because we are very honored. This week, we are actually performing at the Ryan Auditorium here in Nashville with Ringo and a bunch of friends. So the
Wow.
last couple of days, we've been spending so much time with Ringo, and it's just crazy to even say those words. But he told us a story because back in 2017, I believe, we performed as part of the house band for a really cool musical event out in Los Angeles called Music Cares Person of the Year. And the Person of the Year in 2017 was Tom Petty.
Yeah.
And T-Bone Burnett had invited my sister and I to be a part of the house band. And Ringo Starr was in the audience that night, and he had made note of my sister and I in the house band and had gone to T-Bone and said, those sisters are really talented. So when it came time for him to make a country record, those two invited us to be a part, and it's such an honor. He is the epitome of an artist that, you know, so deep into his career and in his early 80s is still vibrant and connected to music. And the beautiful thing is that when Ringo sits down behind the drum kit, he's Ringo Starr, yes, but he's also just a drummer. And so everyone is connected through that language of music. And it's just unbelievably cool to get to make music with him.
It's just a music, no, Megan? It's just a musicians playing with you.
Just a musician. And I think that's when the magic happens. Because we all speak this language of music. We're all fluent in it.
Not everybody is usually said that Ringo made a great album, but I think this time he made it. I think Look Up is a great country music album, and with a great production of T-Bone Burnett and your participation.
Thank you. I agree.
Okay, Rebecca, Megan, thank you very much for your time again from Chile, and we're waiting for your next album, Bloom, and we're waiting for you girls here in Santiago playing live music as we like, as we know, and very success in this 2025 for you, families, and we'll see you soon, I hope.
We hope so too. Thank you so much for the love and the support and for having us on today. We really appreciate it.